every year, come rains, we talk about the electronic city becoming a swimming pool per se. The latest airport that was inaugurated, after the first set of rains, you had water leaking from the roofs as well in the parking areas. But what's different this time around is that you've got a different dispensation. There's a different government. The Congress party has just won Karnataka with a thumping majority. But before we delve into the politics, I'm taking a look at this. A 23-year-old techie drowns in a car as the rain floods Bengaluru's underpass. And I can see in the picture there are a lot of people around this particular underpass as well. Really, really tragic turn of events. And help the viewers understand also why Bengaluru, becomes a target. I mean, Maharashtra also witnesses so much rain. Andhra Pradesh, Telangana witnesses so much rain. The coastal Odisha witnesses so much rain. But why Karnataka becomes such a huge problem? I mean, it's the electronic city, isn't it?
Kabir, both of us, when we were in school, there was a very simple logic that was taught to us when it comes to water. The logic was this, that water finds its own level. Unfortunately, the planners in Bengaluru from 2000 onwards, when the city started seeing a huge boom in its real estate and other faculties, they in fact forgot about it completely. And today, the kind of mess that Bengaluru is in, despite being called as the Silicon Valley of India and the great accolades that come along with it, it seems that a simple rain, this is not even the monsoon rains, this is technically the summer rains that has hit Bengaluru, and there was hailstones as well, there was a hailstorm along with it. And this simple rain was more than enough to create so much of havoc. Why does it happen? As I said, the earlier logic that water finds its own level, and for that you need to have a robust drainage system. And the haphazard way in which this entire city has been modeled, built, remodeled, and combined with the political chaos along with it, it has become to such a level that it is becoming totally unlivable. This particular city has a very good weather, but how long will you be talking about weather in this city? This city has a huge issue with infrastructure, and it all starts with infrastructure. One, unbridled development in lake beds, unbridled development in natural drain systems. The water has nowhere to go. It is going to, as I said earlier, the water will find its own level. It's a basic primary school philosophy and truth and scientific knowledge that was given. But none of those who in fact decided to model and bring infrastructure to this
So can
city.
this layout, this planned infrastructure of the city, can it be changed now, or has that ship sailed?
Now
There's no looking back now.
Now let us take a look at this KR Circle tragedy. 22-year-old woman, promising woman with a lot of
An entire family that got
entire
stuck
family
inside
got
that,
stuck. Now you know how,
underpass.
Kabir, this entire underpass construction happened. They would want a quick solution to a issue of a traffic blockade in that place. So they will say we will have an underpass in that location. Then they in fact imported something called as magic boxes from Malaysia and a company associated with it. They just dug up without even looking at the gradient of the flow of the water. They just dug up and ensured that there was an underpass. And then they had these magic boxes installed. On top of it, they paved the road and they thought the problem is solved. Come the rains, and then they realized that there is no proper drain system down the underpass. And then what happens? The water just fills up because this is nothing more than a huge pit for the water. And how does an underpass, gradient work? You come from an elevation, you go down to its bottom elevation, and then you move again into a gradient. And then what happens is the water which flows from both the sides will accumulate at the underpass. So you should have had some kind of a drainage system that takes the water out. But no, it is highly inefficient. So the water keeps accumulating and fills up the underpass to the level of 6 feet, 7 feet at times. And tragedy about this, I was looking at the Indian Express article, and after this incident happened where this 22-year-old lost her life, look at the apathy on the part of these people, especially those who are running the city. And I have my anger completely on them. It is being said, even after the accident, witnesses said vehicles continue to enter the flooded underpass as barricades were not put up. An auto rickshaw driver and a passenger had to be rescued by fire and emergency service personnel shortly after drowning, and then 2 bikes and another auto had also entered but turned back. Look at this. You had a tragedy in this underpass area. there's a tragedy that has happened. We are witness to
There's
what has
proper
happened.
rescue going on
There's a
inside
proper
that
rescue going on,
underpass.
and after just they were able to settle things. Simple logic is to have a barricade place. They didn't place it, and then you have an auto driver with a passenger again rushing into this submerged underpass in KR Circle, and then you have bikers entering it. I mean, how ridiculous can you get?
There's
How
an
ridiculous
FIR
can you
against
get?
the officials after the techie, lost their life at the KR Circle underpass. Now, there's going to be political slugfest here as well. We have had visuals of, the new Chief Minister, Siddaramaiah, going to the hospital to visit the family, to, meet the bereaved family members. But this political slugfest, even as the BJP comes out and has started calling out the Congress party
Nobody,
saying,
no,
well, then,
see, in this
you
political
build
slugfest,
this, you build
I've
the
been a
underpass back in
Bangalorean.
your
I've been a
regime.
Bangalorean, Kabir. In this slugfest, let me tell you, let me be very honest with you. All of them are responsible for how Bangalore is today, or Bengaluru is today. I'm a city, I have feelings for that city, and I am so sad that every rainy season, every monsoon, it's a horrible situation. Who is responsible for it? We can talk about the different administrations that came in. Anyone can blame anyone. Can put out tweets also and saying that who's responsible. Anyone can blame anyone. But consistently there has been misgovernance. No matter which party has been in power. And this is a city that has got 28 MLAs. 28 MLAs are there for this city. And it seems that none of them have an idea or an inkling of what is happening to the city.
Do you think, I absolutely understand where you're coming from, does come from a place of passion. Do you think this time around, since we've got a new government, things might change, or we could always hope for the best this time around?
The adage is this: once bitten, twice shy. Many times bitten. That's the situation with a lot of Bengalurians. Okay, we in fact went ahead and blamed Bengalurians for not coming out in large numbers and voting, and we kept the percentage at 52%.
Yeah.
Why
the
is it?
urban voter
The
problem
urban voter,
phenomenon.
because the urban voter has become cynical. The urban voter is not looking at ideologies now. He's become very cynical. He just wants to see things solved in his place. Civic agencies are there, and this issue has been a big issue for the city for ages together. Remodeling of the drainage system has not been happening. Existing natural drainage system, I mean, the water flows in any city when it rains. The water flows in its natural drain systems.
Take a look at this, Varghese. A user called Sunshine on our live stream has commented saying, people are like robots in Bengaluru. Only concern is to reach somewhere on time. And I was there just,
You were there in Bengaluru, yeah, of course you will know
fortnight
what
ago.
he's trying to say.
Traffic is a problem over there. There is like a mechanical sort of way with the quote-unquote electronic city works. Do you think this particular point that you're talking about as well, that the urban voter over there has become cynical, doesn't really care much, do you think that also factors in, weighs in?
Well, it does factor a lot when it comes to the urban voter, because the cynical factor has entered them, saying that this is not going to improve. Whatever new projects that have been introduced, as of now, when you have been in Bengaluru right now, just for the elections, you would have seen that there are several projects that are done halfway. Several projects are being done. I mean, this is a city that is being, built and built upon and built again over. For example, when the last governments were there, they talked about white-topping the roads. Existing roads that were really good, they tried to white-top it. Okay, fine. How much of success they have earned with it? And what does white-topping do? White-topping increases the flooding problem because the cements don't absorb the water and it keeps running through the channels, and since the channels are also blocked, the water keeps accumulating. This is the unfortunate planning truth of Bengaluru. Sense is missing. Why the sense is missing? I mean, a lot of projects are being announced, but what is happening in Bengaluru is the fact that there is no sense in when it comes to the planning. And the biggest issue right now the city has to in fact get into is that it has to ensure that its drainage system is proper. There are many low-lying areas in the city, Kabir. And in these low-lying areas, flooding happens in these areas simply because the existing drain system is overwhelmed. there is water rushing back. So just imagine the kind of pressure that is there from the lower area towards the houses, and from the houses, water outlets that we in fact give for it to move into the drains are the places from which the water enters. And this becomes difficult because it takes a toll on the financial capacities of the people who are suffering it as well. You're replacing your furniture, you're replacing your plywood furniture, of course, doesn't last for long. You're replacing your books, you are woken in the middle of the night, or in a day you're trying to sleep on the terrace. And interestingly enough, some of the big apartments in that city has come up on lake beds. Let's I'll give you a small number about how the issue is more complex now. The drainage system, or the natural drainage system of the city, was designed, or rather the people who founded the city, like Kempe Gowda, designed the city around these natural drains. There were several lakes in the city. Most of those lakes have been wiped out for infrastructure projects. Where will the water go?
You're almost describing sort of like a doomsday, an apocalyptic sort of a
situation. It is a doomsday kind of a situation that we are looking.
Any Bengalurians joining us on the stream, do let us know. Get down in the comment section. Help us understand what's really happening over there. I was learning that the Kantirava Stadium, where the swearing-in ceremony took place, was also built on a lake itself. There are so many structures that are built on lakes itself.
In fact, it's not only Kantirava Stadium, it is one of those, I think, Majestic bus stand was built on a huge lake. Your National Games Village was built on a lake. So there are several government projects that have come on lakes. And the question is again, where will the water go? The water has to go somewhere. And the water has to reach somewhere. Either when you build these infrastructures that you want to have as part of the city's civic life, you should be also thinking about the existing natural water going somewhere. No, you have not planned for it. Existing drains are again being pumped with all the water, and plus there are stormwater drains that are also doubling as sewage water outlets for the city.
Right.
So this is the kind of a problem that we are looking at. And then all these underpasses, as I said, doesn't make sense because the gradient is elevated and the water keeps accumulating in the middle, and we have tragedies like this, and there is no one to respond to tragedies like this. We are talking about the Silicon Valley, and mind it, Kabir, lot of the companies, IT companies in Bengaluru have slowly started moving away from Bengaluru.
Yeah.
This is the truth. People have come and met Bommai over the infrastructure wars when he was the chief minister. People have met Siddaramaiah also when he was the chief minister on infrastructure wars. Before that also, Kumaraswamy, they met, Yediyurappa, they have met. But what is the outcome of it?
So an economical hit for, the
in
great
the long
Silicon
term, it's going to
City
be
of
economical
India as well.
hit for Bengaluru. You are looking at it because a company like Infosys have decided to, go ahead and move out its campuses.
All because of rains. All because of rains.
Well, we can say rains and expansion, but in a city that could have attracted that kind of an expansion, these people are looking for more campuses outside
And at
Bengaluru.
the center of it seems like, a capitalist greed and bad planning.
Capitalist or real estate greed. At the same time, bad infrastructure, projects mired in corruption. A simple drain being constructed is mired in corruption. A simple underpass being constructed is mired in corruption. And Kabir, this is one incident that has come out of Bengaluru. There have been incidents when people have been swallowed by manholes that have been kept open.
Right. Clear public apathy in broad daylight. Joining us on the broadcast is also my colleague Pankaj Mishra. Pankaj, we just spoke about the Bruce Lee phenomenon. You can't really tame water. Water just takes the shape in whatever container you actually put it in. That's why Bruce Lee always said, one should always be like water. But at the same time, you can't go up against Mother Nature itself. Take a look at this 23-year-old techie loses their life, 6 more others inside the car with that particular person as well. And even as we're talking about the ecological reasons behind it, the economical fallouts of it, let's also take a look at the politics of it. We've got a new dispensation in Karnataka. Siddaramaiah was quite swift to rush to the hospital. He's announced an ex gratia. He's saying if there was any problem at all, there's going to be a proper inquiry that is going to be initiated into this particular case.
Right, Kabir. Lots of aspects here, and our hearts go out for the bereaved family of the 22-year-old Techie who unfortunately lost her life when she and her family were out on a sightseeing trip in Bengaluru. What has happened is not the first instance, and yet the agony, the pain, and the trauma is equally humongous as the earlier cases. Bangalore has been making headlines for the last so many years for its dilapidated infrastructure, especially the road and traffic conditions.